Good morning, my darlings. Welcome to Vlogmas Day 5. It is the most beautiful day here in the Cotswolds today. We've got so much condensation on the windows, but really beautiful blue skies, a little bit of cloud, but the sunrise this morning was absolutely gorgeous. I tried to show you a little bit on my drive, but I'm aware that those driving clips, they're not always the most exciting. But started the day with Reformer Pilates with Charlie. Fridays are the day that we do our Pilates together. And back home again now for what's going to be a very busy, very fun, very sociable day. We're doing double hosting today, so I've got a lot of bits and bobs that I need to do around the house to get ready for that. The first guests that are going to be arriving, I'm very, very excited to meet for the first time. And one of those guests is the Royal Butler. Yes, that is as cool as it sounds. And we realised recently that we live pretty close to each other, so I invited Grant over for tea this morning, and I'm really excited to meet him and a couple of his pals as well. So that's happening today, in the daytime. And then later on this evening, it's actually our team Christmas party. However, it's actually going to be a half-team Christmas party because a flu has ravaged half the team, or team members' children. So it's going to be half Fashion Mumblr team party, but it's still going to be a really, really lovely evening. We've got the wonderful Season Kitchen coming back to cook for us again. We had Paul last year as well, and he was incredible. The food was delicious, so we booked him again for this year. It means that Charlie and I can relax a little bit, cooking sorted, taken care of, as is the washing up. But anyway, I'm going to go make myself some breakfast, and then I feel a little bit of pressure hosting the Royal Butler because he's literally the master of etiquette and has literally served tea to the Queen. So how does one serve tea to someone who has served tea to the Queen? I just want to make sure I get everything spot on, and hopefully if he's happy to be on camera a little bit later, maybe we can share some festive etiquette tips as well. So it's going to be a really fun day. Outfit of the day, I've gone a little bit like a Viennetta. Chocolate brown, cream, chocolate brown. And first of all, these boots are officially my new favourite thing. These are from 𝑭𝒊𝒅, and they are the most comfortable things in the entire world, especially considering the heel height. Also, the heel is quite rubbery, so that might sound like a strange thing to like about a shoe, but I love that when I'm stomping around this house, which I do, I charge around, and normally because of our wooden floors, when I'm dashing from A to B, it's like a herd of horses have arrived in the house. But because these are a rubber heel, it doesn't make any annoying noise, which is fantastic. They're also just incredibly comfortable and perfect for wearing under trousers or with little dresses. Then I've popped on my 𝑚 wide leg trousers, and then this top, I believe it's cashmere wool blend from a lovely brand called 𝑘𝒉𝒂𝒕, and it's just so cozy warm. I have of course got a thermal on underneath. Haven't done hairbands in a while, but then since I did it for the evening at Estelle Manor, I just thought actually it's a great way of keeping my hair out of the way and looking as I've made a little bit of an effort. So that's the outfit of the day. Glorious sunshine. Let's get ready to have a day of hosting. haven't spoken in a while. I'm just accessorizing for the day with my, I think these are called the puffy Charlotte earrings from 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅. They've got the little squidgy bits at the top. They're actually not squidgy, it's gold. And then the hanging pearl. Seeing as we're going to be in the presence of kind of royalty, people that know royalty, I thought I would keep it elegant with my pearl jewellery today. The reason that we're in the pink room is because I have just got these boots out of my fashion fridge. They may be water resistant, but I realised that for me, the best way for me to clean these, especially seeing as these are the boots also from 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 that I normally wear in London because they are so ridiculously comfortable, I've realised that I can actually clean them by like steam cleaning them in the fashion fridge. Some of the 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 shoes are actually machine washable, which is amazing, but these are actually water resistant. So I know I've said this a million times before, but I've actually worn these out on snow days and they have survived, still look as amazing as they do on day one. I think these were actually my first pair of 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 boots, and still possibly to this day my favourite, but I did pick up, not absolutely identical, but a very, very similar pair in this chocolate brown. As we can tell, I am wearing a lot more chocolate brown lately, and once again they've just got all of the things that we know and love about 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅. So inside, the sole of the shoe, which you can't really tell from here, very hard for me to show you insoles on the camera, but if I can find a graphic or something, I'll pop it on the screen here. They're basically designed to be super comfortable and supportive. 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 take their insoles very seriously. There are even kind of pressure release points, so even with a heel like this, or the shoes that I'm wearing today, which is probably a slightly higher heel on these more Western style boots, yeah, that's almost like a 2.5-inch heel, which for someone like me is very much appreciated. But because of the jazzy sole, can you see there's like a diamond pattern on there? It just makes them so incredibly comfortable, and also the fact that you can pull them on so easily because this is super duper stretchy. I think if, like me, comfort is your #1 important factor when it comes to choosing an outfit and choosing footwear, then this is definitely the brand to go to. 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 are always very, very kind and generous and give us a discount code. I'll leave that on the screen here and linked in the description box down below. I think at one point I'm going to have to do a dedicated video on every single one of my 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 boots because I have got so many now, and I feel very fortunate to have worked with them a few times, and each time I do I get to choose a new pair. But a pair that I have, again, I have showed you these in the past, but I want to draw your attention to them again. I realise all of these are very brown, but they do just do the most beautiful array of neutral colours, so they go with your outfits really well. But something that I love about these at this time of year, first of all, sorry, obviously they're very well worn. I have worn these out and about. That could be walking boots. Like if you just saw these from the sole, that could be walking boots. So if you are having to walk on countryside terrain, you need just that little bit of extra grip and stability, these are amazing. I also think they are just so flattering. The fact that they, again, have got that stretch upper, so they fit your leg really, really beautifully. And this is actually made with some very clever heat retaining technology. So I like to wear these with a dress, tights, and these boots, and they keep your legs so warm. I'm a huge fan of thermals. I'm wearing thermals on the top half right now. These are essentially thermals within your footwear. It is absolutely genius, and they just fit so, so beautifully. And the final ones that I want to draw your attention to today, and I could wear these ones today or keep the ones on that I've currently got on, which I also am a huge, huge fan of. These have also got the same chunky block heel. It's actually 3 inches, I just had to check, which is a great height boost. You've still got the pressure relief insole, you've got the stretchy fabric. These I would say are more suitable for a kind of wide leg fit, this really beautiful stitching detail. Western boots are just always going to be on fashion, and these are guaranteed, in my opinion, to be the most comfortable Western boots you'll ever try. I just adore them as a brand. I know so many of my friends and family members, my mum, Charlie's mum, we are all absolutely obsessed because they just look so good, they're so comfortable, they're so durable. Like, I have really put 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 boots through their paces, and they just still look amazing after so many wears. Their trainers are great, the fact that you can just slip them on, the fact that they're water resistant, I'm a huge fan. So if you're looking to treat yourself or a loved one this Christmas, I will leave my favourites. And the ones that I've shown you today, especially linked down below. They come in the most beautiful selection of neutrals, greys, blacks, tans, dark chocolate, and they also do half sizes as well, so you're guaranteed to find the perfect fit. So my darlings, it is the 5th of Vlogmas. I can hear Charlie finishing off his breakfast, so I think it's time to do the advent calendar. I just would like everyone to know that I actually helped Daddy with the advent calendar today. Did I help Daddy?
No.
Or did I hinder? look, Dexy's becoming Maleficent again.
Scruffy.
I'm becoming Maleficent again.
Dexy.
Do you know, a lot of people said, why is Dexy not in the intro? Because he's so dark and we're in such a dark room, no one spotted him.
Oh no!
Yes.
It's nice to give Dickie. Some people message me and say I feature Dickens too much, but the irony is I actually probably...
I'd say Dexy's your boy.
Yeah, I probably give that. I probably try and make up for it.
Yes.
You're my best friend.
Have we got a Christmas haircut booked in? Yes?
Yeah.
Because we're looking a little bit shaggy.
And the key is, when we go for a haircut, the whole of Chipping North know about it.
Yes, we actually have to have a private session because we're so chaotic. They don't allow other dogs in there because they know that Dexy and Dickie will terrorise. Look how scruffy his back is. Right! Advent calendar time! Advent calendar time. Mummy, we love your new shoes. We think they're perfect for dog walks. In your dreams, Dickie. And the armour. Unfortunately this year, our stair banister, I think we're going to have to go back to the drawing board a little bit because this is what we wake up to every morning and most of the prongs are now looking a little bit bare. Not ideal, seeing as we're still 3 weeks from Christmas, so we're going to give Nem an emergency call, see if he can come and work his magic on it, because it's such an important part of the house. It still looks lovely from afar, but up close it's looking a little bit thin on the ground. This was one of the features from our small business gift guide, and I actually kind of think it should go up here. I wonder if that's why Charlie's popped it on this chair for me to approve, but is this why you put this on the chair?
No, it can't go there because of all the wires.
Oh no.
Little fun fact, that as I know from all our building projects, all the wires technically in houses run that way. So
not diagonally?
Well, no, not upwards. So
oh,
we've got 4 wires there. So it's
oh, that's risky. A shame.
The idea for it is to go here, just to swap it just for the festive season. But I need a new wire legs. It's not right.
Right, Advent calendar day 5. See if you guys can... I've spotted it. That's actually quite an easy one. We've got the watering can. I'll get the clue out, and then I'll pass the
these guys need to actually live
camera to Charlie. Yeah, they need a little bit more prominence.
Like that.
Yeah.
He can go somewhere else.
Oh, rejected nutcracker.
He's lost his hand, this one.
What?
Yeah, that's
oh no. Right, Vlogmas Advent calendar day 5. What kitchen machine could you not live without? Have you put something in the Thermomix?
Maybe.
Imagine if I just blindly put stuff in it and then...
Well, that's why I have to do the gifts literally just before you do the calendar. It's quite convoluted.
I could have made my
I have actually had someone message me about how I do this calendar, and I just said to them, my advice, just do 12 days of Christmas, because 24 of these is a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
Right.
But so is creating 25 Christmas videos, darling.
It's not quite as much work as this, anyway. Right.
You think putting together an advent calendar?
Yeah. Well, I don't have any help, mate. Right, come on then. I do it all on my own.
Okay.
Right, I'm going to need the lights on for this. Hang on, the light's gone very weird. Here we go.
Okay, what kitchen machine could you not live without? It's got to be the Thermomix. Oh, what have we got in here? Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have missed this when they... Ooh. Chocolate chai spice and golden chai spice. I think you need one of these, darling, this morning for immunity. Stir into hot milk, tea or coffee. I've not heard of this brand before. I
think they're quite a small brand. I can't remember where I found them, but...
Chai spice has a generational story. Mira, with her mother Hema and her grandmother Bahabi, created a traditional chai recipe in their home kitchen. Today you can use this spice blend to make your own cup of cozy chai anywhere with no fuss. Yay, that's gorgeous. I love a chai, and you can mix this into your coffee.
And one is a hot chocolate, essentially.
chocolate chai spice, hot chocolate.
Yeah.
And golden, so that might be more like a turmeric-y one.
Yeah.
Yay!
Epic.
Thank you, darling. We'll start
Good.
with the boys later today.
Hey.
Just really fancied the comfort food of dippy eggs this morning. If you're like me and you like the white to be solid and the yolk to be liquid, I put them into boiling water really carefully and then cook for 5 minutes. And then I kind of leave them sitting like this just while I butter the bread. And normally on a fairly large egg, it's perfection, normally. Okay, I'm just pulling out my most traditional tea set. I hope they want tea, maybe they'll want coffee, I don't know. But I've pulled out my lovely Wedgwood tea set, complete with the very fabulous gold tea strainer, very traditional. There's part of me that's thinking he's spent so long serving tea to the royal family that maybe he's so bored of English breakfast tea. They'll probably all want coffees or wine, who knows, but we are very fully stocked in this kitchen. But these little teacups and saucers are so cute with a little strawberry pattern on them. They were actually advent calendar gifts from a couple of years ago. So I've got that ready, I've got the kettle full of water, and I've got my tea bits out already. And now what I want to do is lay the table here. So we're actually only going to be 6 tonight. We were meant to be 9, so a little bit smaller, but that just means more beef Wellington for us. So I've got my gorgeous festive tablecloths out. This lovely kind of nature print. It's got holly, it's got fir, pine leaves, and this is from Daylesford last year. Let's see, hopefully it might actually be big enough, but I do have 2. My second one got very bleached in the wash. I think I must have washed it at too high a setting, and this is probably hand screen printed, so yeah, it didn't wash very well. What a beautiful day it is today, my goodness. I'm actually coming down here to get some rosemary. I did this last year as well and I thought it was really effective. Ooh, I might use trailing rosemary this year. I'm going to make the little rosemary wreaths as the place settings. I thought they're just so simple to do and they really do look great. So I need a few little sprigs of this. And then these other little goodies are left over from my wreath making. So they'll be perfect for rid of table decor. Okay, hopefully I've got everything ready. The boys are going to be here any second now. Normally I like to put in so much more effort into the little details and planning everything to perfection whenever we're hosting, but this was quite a last minute plan, and there's just a lot going on here at the house today. So I feel like it's possibly not the absolute best that I could have done, but hopefully the boys don't mind and we're going to have a lovely couple of hours catching up together. I've got the kettle twerking away because it takes so long to boil. I'm going to do a few little Daylesford mince pies. I've got English breakfast tea or chai loose leaf tea, the tea set. Do I need to do anything else? I've got a little bit of trail mix in the drawing room. I think we're good to go. So my darlings, I've got a very special guest here who's very tall. I might need to increase the height of the tripod. Guys, this is Grant, who is the Royal Butler. How cool is that?
It's not a bad title, is it?
It's not a bad title. And can I just say to everybody, I was a little bit nervous to host these wonderful gentlemen, and one of the first things that I did upon showing them around the dining room, how do I even say that without it being blasphemy? I walked in dog...
Oh, some dog...
Poo.
Dog poo.
Exactly.
Which,
it was an icebreaker.
It was an icebreaker. Yeah. But interestingly, we've got Daxies as well.
Six
of them.
Sausage dogs.
And as you know, and I know, Daxies are a little bit naughty and they like to leave little presents, especially at Christmas. They like to leave little presents around the home.
Yeah.
And so as soon as I walked in, you get that fragrant scent, which you already know there's something going to be there.
Yeah.
But I've done exactly what you've done 100 times, that you walk into it.
We know it was you.
You walk into it and then you walk round, and then only when you walk round a little bit you can discover it. But look at they look so innocent. You can't really
tell them off.
Annoyed at them.
You really can't. No. So that was a fantastic icebreaker. We've had some great chats, but I'd love for you to tell everybody who you are, what you do, and why you're such a pro at it.
So the Royal Butler was my profession. Wow, probably about 12 years ago. So when I was a youngster, I had this crazy ambition dream that I wanted to meet Queen Elizabeth II,
Don't we all?
and I wanted to dance with her because of a documentary that I watched when I was a kid. And then I watched a movie called Remains of the Day, all about the Royal Butlers with Stephen Hawkins. I know we all watched it, didn't we? And because of watching that, I decided that I'd like to be a butler. But then I put the two together. I thought, what if I became a butler for the Queen and I could get to dance with her? I was only 13, 14. And then within 12 years from that point, from then to 12 years on, I did obviously get to work for the family. I worked for her son, obviously, when he was Prince of Wales, the King. And I did get to dance with the Queen, I think within about a year of being there, so I did actually make it.
Is she a good dancer?
She was a very good dancer, but you had to be very careful because she would watch, she would make sure you were doing the steps correctly, and if you were doing them wrong, she would in a humorous way, she would kind of tell you off. So you had to be...
How would she say it?
She would just kind of give you a little kind of wave her finger. And,
oh really?
Oh yeah.
And
It's footage actually on YouTube.
Really?
We actually see her dancing, which is what I watched when I was a kid. And you see her kind of doing that. And it didn't matter who you were, whether it was family or staff, you'd get told off. And the other thing that was quite nice was I actually got to dance with Queen Camilla. She actually got me to dance with her first because she knew about this. I told when I was dancing with her, I told her about this crazy dream. And I remember she said to me, Grant, there's about 150 people here, you don't have to worry about dancing with the Queen tonight. And when we finished dancing, the Queen was behind me, and that's how it all happened. So
what event was this?
It was a Gillies ball at Balmoral Castle.
Oh my goodness.
So it was quite a special occasion. It was really nice to get invited to that.
That's
so that was how the Royal Butler bit came around, because I was a butler to the then Prince of Wales, who's now the King. During that time I looked after Queen Elizababeth II, Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, and of course William and Catherine. So I got to know them back there, and Prince Harry.
Oh my goodness.
Towards the end of his teenage years.
I've got so many questions, but I don't know if you're allowed to legally answer them.
Do you know, I always say to people, sometimes there's questions obviously that for many reasons I might not answer, but obviously I want to protect their privacy as well. I want to promote them and talk about them, but I also want to protect their privacy. But on saying that, within reason, I try to kind of give the best answers I can to the questions.
Yeah.
But I was there for several years, which was great fun. And then quickly to mention, I left, started doing bits on social media like yourself, got up a bit of a following, under the title of the Royal Butler. So
fabulous.
This is a bit, what I kind of do, I try to put a bit of comedy into etiquette. So obviously there's a serious side to etiquette, but I try to make it fun and light-hearted as well.
I think that makes sense, because we were all just saying earlier that for me etiquette it's a respect thing, and some of the things are quite peculiar. Like you may, if someone says I need to go to the toilet, you're not going to suddenly frown on them. No. You meant to say going to the loo, things like that. Exactly. But sometimes I just want to know that I am doing the right thing, whether it's always drinking from the same spot on a champagne glass, or I don't know, just silly examples. It's just nice to have the knowledge so that you're not putting yourself in a social faux pas. That's what I see. Yeah. It's not about going around saying, oh, I know how to do it. It's so you understand. So if you're in someone else's home, because you're here, you've got your own rules. You have things that you do, you don't do, and you don't push it onto your guests, but your guests will follow your lead. Yes. So like when you have a dinner party, everyone will be looking at how you host. Yeah. And follow your lead of each course, whether you use something you're going to use your hands for, where you're going to use your cutlery, where you use your napkin. Everyone's going to copy you, even though we all have our own ways of doing things. When we're in your home, we follow your rules because you're king or queen of your castle. Love that. King and queen of the castle. So we're going to do a really fun video on Grant's channel, because you guys all know that I am quite fond of the old mince pie. I have no idea if the way that I eat it is the correct etiquette or not. We'll soon find out. So we're going to film something fun, which hopefully we'll be able to put live now, so we'll leave that linked if you want to watch that. But also I'm going to rope Grant into helping me lay the table, because we've got guests coming over this evening, and table laying is something that I love to do, but I've literally got the pro. You've laid the table for the Queen.
I have. I've laid the table for King, Queen, for presidents, world leaders. So
wow.
this will be adorable.
This will be adorable.
But can I just say, I already had a little look at your dining room, and it already, to my mind, it's like walking into a royal dining room already. So without even laying the table, we're already halfway there.
Well, I will frame that quote and dine on it for life, which is magical. Also behind the scenes we've got the Royal Gardener here as well, so maybe we'll do a little bit of rating the Christmas decorations. I'll give you a little tootle around the garden, and I've also got loads of offcuts of yew, of conifer, of ilex, so maybe we'll rope in the Royal Gardener to do a little bit of festive foliage on the table too. And are you going to do a little napkin demonstration as well?
Yes, because obviously I think one of the things I've noticed that people are interested in is the correctly to fold napkins, so I thought it might be fun to do one or two little napkin folds.
Definitely. I was thinking of doing the rosemary wreath, but I don't know if that's a little bit below your...
We can try. I normally go, one of my favourites is the 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 or Prince Wales feathers, which we used to do for the King, and he quite liked that one, so I thought maybe and it looks quite pretty. It's quite a larger kind of fold, and what I mean by that, it fills out a bit more than a small napkin, so it looks the part. It adds a bit of grandeur to your dining table. And
before we do that, I'm just thinking lots of people watching might be either hosting a Christmas party or attending one. What would be your top 3 tips, Christmas etiquette wise, if you are, say someone invites you to a party, you've RSVP'd, which I guess is number 1 etiquette.
Number 1,
make sure you
absolutely,
RSVP in a timely manner. And on the day that you're going to someone's house, how could you be a good guest?
So a good ghost. Well, you might have a ghost. A good guest. The first thing you want to remember is the fashionably late bit.
What?
Fashionably late.
Oh, fashionably late. Yes. Oh my gosh, so important.
So this is
never arrive here on time.
Never arrive on time.
I'm never ready.
So what I mean by that is don't get there 5 minutes before, because you've got to kind of realise that a host, whatever reason, might be running a little bit behind. So I always think it's advisable to arrive just after the time.
10 minutes late.
10 minutes late, even 15. You could push by 20, but if you're getting into the 20 area, that's when I would even. As your guests arrive.
He's seen a Christmas ghost.
There's a Christmas ghost. For me today, I was running a little bit behind, and when I knew it was going to be 20 minutes, I messaged to say, so that's my cut-off time.
Excuse me, let me just collect my raucous child. Etiquette number 1, remove sausage dogs from your Christmas events because they're so naughty.
So that's the thing you've got to kind of remember is don't be, if you're going to be really, really late, then obviously notify them well in advance. But for many reasons, it could be traffic, it could just be you've left the house and forgot to take the gift, those kind of things. So just bear that in mind when it comes to the planning. The other thing about being a good guest is don't be too fussy with what's on the menu. So a host might say to you, is there anything you don't eat? So don't then turn around and say, oh, I like this, but I'm not a fan of this. It's not so much if you're a fan. If you're allergic to something,
then say.
Absolutely say. But if you're not keen on something, can you imagine going and having dinner with the King? You wouldn't say, oh, I quite like this, but I'm not such a fan. You wouldn't. You just go and have what you're supposed to have, unless you're allergic to it. So it's the same kind of rule. And then there's gift giving, which is also another big discussion as to what you would take somebody as a gift.
Yeah.
What do you normally take?
I would say it's very dependent on the person. I love to do something a little bit homemade. I'm a big fan of making questionable jams and elderberry elixirs, or in the summer I'll take flowers from the garden. But then I'm sure I read in 𝑑𝒐𝒐 or something that if you take flowers, you're actually inconveniencing the host because they've got to snip them, they've got to put them in water. So on a busy day that might not be ideal. So I would take them in a jar, an old jam jar.
See, maybe this is a question for the Royal Gardener. He can probably tell you exactly from the royal point of view what you should be taking, but from my experience, it was that thing, if you take flowers, it can be an inconvenience, especially at a dinner party.
Yes.
So there's other ways maybe of kind of dealing with that, but that may be something you can advise us on.
Perfect.
But you don't have to go and spend a fortune.
Yeah.
If there's something that you make, or something, maybe it may be a craft, or it could be food or drink, that's the perfect gift.
Yeah.
But people always kind of go out and spend a fortune and we have to get the most expensive thing. The other thing you can do throughout the year is if you see something, you think, oh, that, for example, with your husband, you might see something in February and you might think, oh, that'd be perfect for Christmas. and then you'll think, oh, I'll get it later. No, get it there and then, and put it in your present drawer, because every home should have a present drawer, a present cupboard, maybe even a present room, depending on the size of the property. And then you keep the gifts in there, and then when the time comes round, you just go up there, you put your labels, put your little sticky notes, just so you remember.
That is
little label,
organisation.
and then you get them all wrapped up. I would probably not wrap them up until getting towards the Christmas time, because you will forget what's in there, especially if a label comes off. But then it just means you're kind of halfway planned if you've got the gifts already there.
That's such a good idea. So if you are invited to someone's house, I'm interested in the etiquette on taking alcohol, because a lot of the time people will bring a champagne or a red wine or something. As the host, is it the correct etiquette to immediately put that bottle in the fridge and serve it during the night?
I always think this is a very fine line, because I've gone to homes and I'll take a bottle of champagne or some wine, and it sometimes ends up in the fridge, and then before you know it, it's been served. And I also think that's a shame, because you've taken it for them to enjoy, not necessarily for all the guests to enjoy.
And then they only get like an eighth of a glass.
And they only get a little bit of it. So I always think that if you do take alcohol, or even non-alcohol, to your host, the host quite rightly could put it in a cellar or put it away somewhere and keep it for later. Don't have it at that exact moment. I think that's what I would recommend, because I think if you're going to take something, you're taking it for them to enjoy in their own time. So that's what you've got to that's what you've got to kind of bear in mind. Unless you're taking stuff, if they might say to you, you might say, can I bring some, they'll say, oh, do you want to bring some, I don't know, something for everyone to enjoy? That's different.
That's a different scenario.
But I would still, even if they said that, I'll still take something else that they can then have and enjoy later.
Nibbles for the day.
Yeah.
So I feel like I could just ask you and quiz you on these sorts of things all day long. But we've got a table to lay, so should we get started?
Yes, let's get started.
Let's do it.
Oh, we haven't done the gifts.
Oh my gosh, we're back. Speaking of gifts, the chaps did not arrive empty-handed.
No, so we brought you, we thought we'd bring you a few little gifts, So obviously we follow your channel, we kind of see what you're kind of doing with your home, and we brought you some Christmas gifts, I should say some decorations, but also we're aware it was your birthday recently, so we brought something we felt was up for your birthday as well.
Nutcrackers!
Nutcrackers, yes.
These guys do know what we love. Oh my goodness, this is adorable.
So this is the thing, is getting to know what somebody likes, even just from watching your channel and getting
we have to name them now.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, because every nutcracker in this house has a name.
Okay.
Well, since these are on baubles, maybe they can start with a B. So we could have, what's a regal name beginning with B?
I was going to say Butler.
Butler! Butler and... I was going to say Boris, but maybe that's a bit controversial. Butler and Boris. What else?
Looks a bit like him.
Is this a sausage?
Yes, this is the birthday gift, because obviously I'm aware of well, we knew that you like obviously sausage dogs like ourselves.
We quite like
so we felt this was quite appropriate.
That's gorgeous, and every time I look at it, I'll remember your 6 sausages.
6 sausages. Yeah, we've only got 6 of them. So.
Oh, and you've got 2. So you literally have Dexter and Dickens. This is so thoughtful. And then some beautiful little heart, also with nutcrackers on.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Just you've got the full set.
That's very kind, thank you.
That's the thing, it's just giving gifts that you know that somebody hopefully will like, but also just being aware of the kind of things that they like.
That's
helps
so
as well.
Thank you. And as a recipient, what would my correct etiquette-wise be?
You don't, so people always think they've got to give something in return. It's not about, the idea of giving something is because you want to give something. You don't have to give something back. The thank you verbally is obviously perfect. What I always do, you're welcome, what I always do is follow up with a little note or a little letter or something. But then likewise, as I'm in your home, I'm going to be writing to you to thank you for the invitation to come to your home. So there's a little bit of the kind of going back and forward with the letter writing.
Yeah, thank you for your thank you note.
Exactly, literally is thank you note. But I think it's a nice little touch. And can I say, from the point of view of working for the royal family, whenever I get invited to a royal event, even though I worked for the king, I still write and thank him for the invitation.
That's so
even
sweet.
Though, you know, it was every year you kind of got invited to different events. But I think it's nice, and it's nice getting a handwritten letter. Of course, everyone WhatsApps and emails, it's nice. It's great to get any kind of communication, but handwritten letters are the nicest, I think.
It's so magical, and it's one of those things that it's sad that it's kind of becoming a bit of a lost art.
It really is.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's good to kind of keep it going.
It is. Let's keep that tradition alive. Yay. Okay guys, we're in the greenhouse now. This is literally my dream day. I've got Jack here, who is the Royal Gardener. How cool is that?
It's nice to be here, and thank you for having me in the garden. It's an amazing garden you've got.
the Royal Gardener just said we have an amazing garden. I'm having such a great day today. So we're going to do a little bit of festive foliage on the Christmas table. Jack's going to help find the best bits. Maybe we could do a little bit of festive foraging.
Yeah, look around the garden. There's plenty in the garden to choose from. So
there is.
yeah, and I'm super impressed with the glass house. I must say, it's clean and tidy. I wish I had a glass house as clean and tidy as this.
I mean, it's not looking its best, but if I had have planned ahead, I would have swept and it would have been absolutely spotless. What does the king keep in his glass house? What would be the royal gardening essentials?
Essentials in a garden, in a glass house. In the glass house, obviously you've got all the house plants that come and go from the house, and I can see you've got pelargoniums in here. And as you know, once they look amazing, they sort of go into the house. And when you've got people coming into the spare bedroom, it's always nice having something that actually fresh, grown here, looking amazing, and you're able to talk about it and say, I grew this from a cutting in the glass house, and have that kind of homely feeling, homely touch within your very homely house. Aww. So it's having a cutting area if you've got anywhere to put cuttings in. What I like about your glass house is you're able to come in and you can have an evening meal or an afternoon drink. You know, some elderflower cordial or a cold glass of rosé, something like that in the summer, looking out over the garden. But no, lovely to see your see the glass house and just notice all your peppers. It's great.
Yeah, I harvested most of them and popped them in the freezer a couple of weeks ago. But there's still a few little bits clinging on for dear life.
So we'll no doubt have some kind of chili sauce or something coming soon.
Chili jam. That would be
chili jam.
Chili jam.
Oh, tomato and chili jam's great as well.
Oh, I don't have any tomatoes left. They're long gone. I've got rid of those.
They'll definitely be gone by now.
They sure are. But let's take some secateurs.
Yep, brilliant.
And probably not to the standard that you're used to.
I should have bought mine. They're normally in the car, weirdly. But,
so am I. Do you forage from the roadside?
No. I'm allowed to do that.
Whoops.
I did.
Okay, well we're foraging on private land, so let's head out into the garden and get some festive foliage. Okay, let's go and see what we can find.
In the garden.
You
is great. Obviously this is fresh still. You're still trying to get the hedge going to a certain point, aren't you? So you don't want to annihilate this too much. No. I'm sure there's a bit of yew down there that I saw that we could probably steal some of later.
Okay, conifer?
Conifer's all been cut. I would go with something, I can see something down here that's going to look perfect on the tree. I think we can get away with probably that tree over there, couldn't
this
we?
One, perfect.
Is that a holly or is that a quercus ilex?
I think it's a quercus ilex.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What you don't want to do is you don't want to go and annihilate something that's one of your favourite trees, things like that. So you want to keep it as clean as you can, as hidden as you can as well. But something that might be in the way, for instance, like that branch, you might go, oh, actually, we can take that back. So, you might want to cut it to there. Is that going to do it?
Pilates paying off.
Good power there. Pop that into there.
Gorgeous.
Great. I might just tidy that off. Sorry, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist on that.
Looks good.
I don't know how much more you want, because the table's only for 6, isn't it? So you don't want to overdo the table.
Yeah.
So have it festive. We'll probably get some holly as well. I know some holly with some berries.
Perfect. So let's get it.
So what's great about this is you've got these all in berry, and I know I take it you're wanting to create a shape into these, aren't you? I know you've got a few trees around here, so you're able to at least steal these bits for Christmas. What's also nice at Christmas time is you might be able to have like just holly leaves. You might find holly in the garden somewhere. I know you've got this holly tree, for instance. It's just growth and foliage. There's no berries on that. What you can also get away with at Christmas, which you might be fully aware of course, is you can buy berries just from a florist, or you can order them from a floristry company, and you can then use your material and then sort of mix a few bits in from a florist. So you can get away with doing something as reasonably as possible, but knowing that quite a lot of it's from your garden, which is quite a nice touch and way of doing it, really. I
think so.
But so we're going to probably snip these lower pieces to add into the garden.
So lovely and festive.
Yeah, and it's natural shape, so you sort of end up with the ends looking lovely.
bit
which
gnarly,
was great.
not
Yeah,
too perfect.
I might steal that one as well while I'm at it.
A tip that I got from Charlie's mum, we used to take Sharpies and just write people's names, obviously ones that didn't have bird poo on them, but we would write people's names as the name cards on the holly leaves.
Yeah, or you can use a larger leaf. So if, like, for instance, if you've got a Magnolia grandiflora or something like that, really beautiful leaf, and you can add it onto something like that, which is great. Yeah,
lovely. And Magnolia leaves are edible, aren't they?
Are they?
I think they are. We had a foraging lady come over, Liz Knight, and she was saying, or maybe it's the flower.
The flower petal possibly, but the leaf would I wouldn't try and eat a leaf. No.
I'm sure she said you can like almost wrap it up like a sushi wrap. Maybe you've got to treat it in some way.
Maybe I'm going to have to look at this.
We'll triple check. Okay, let's collect everything together. Okay, so we've done a lot of foraging around the garden. We've got yew, we've got pine, we've got quercus, and we've managed to find some mistletoe.
We have. I know this branch fell down in the wind, so we've managed to chop the top bit off, and we've got the mistletoe. What's great is if you've got a big branch like this, and you've got a big room with huge beams, you can actually tie it into the ceiling, and you can sort of add lights into it.
Oh.
I wouldn't have said that your house you could get away with it, you know, with taller people and having sort of slightly lower beams and sections. So what I would suggest with this is we can probably cut it down. You can have maybe a bit where you walk in the entrance hall hanging down, so you know, sort of the tradition of kissing under the mistletoe.
Does King Charles have mistletoe at Highgrove?
Mistletoe goes into all different arrangements at Christmas, and the royal houses and gardens are very traditional. So you would probably find mistletoe within the gardens, or you might find it in arrangements. But no, all this sort of traditional greenery goes into arrangements within all the palaces. Fantastic. And I know wreaths as well, which yours is looking fantastic.
Thank you.
I quite prefer just the sort of the plain, the natural that yours looks just like. But some people like to add extra things into. So
I like adding sometimes some dried oranges or pine cones and ilex in there as well.
And some people also put terracotta pots. So you can drill holes at the back of the terracotta pots and get wire.
I love that.
And you have the little mini terracotta pots that you can add on. Bulbs can come out of them. So you can put bulbs into pots that you can force on, and then you can have those within a doorway. I know, like your doorways, if they're slightly under something, you can get away with that. Some people put orchids in them, or you could just put moss, so it looks like something's coming, and just have them. And then obviously the traditional ribbon that I know you're a fond.
I am. They bankrupt me, but we've got plenty of ribbon. So let's take this into the dining room and see what magic we can create.
That's great.
Fabulous. Okay, we're in the dining room, and I'm going to let you take the lead. Where do we begin?
Well, obviously we've got 6 people coming, so I know we can maybe put the longer, wider pieces within the table settings. So you don't want to obviously have a big chunk of foliage
on your plate
when you're trying to eat. No,
not
so what we'll do is we'll try and work it so that it's not exactly where the plates are going to go. But once you've got it on the table, if you sort of think actually this bit's in the way, it's quite easy to just nip a piece off, because what I know what we're going to do here is we're just going to layer it onto the table. I know what we can also you can use foam, and you can actually have an arrangement that you can actually take off the table. You could keep it in water outside to keep it fresh for as long as possible over the festive season. But on this occasion, we've got enough foliage in your garden, so I think we can just get away with putting something down and looking how it works.
Okay, let's get started.
Brilliant. I know we've got these bits, which are probably from underneath a Christmas tree, aren't they? I know
looks like it.
Quite often people aren't sure what to do with the lower branches of their tree when they come in and they put it into a pot. And this kind of situation is absolutely perfect to do something with.
And this would last a long time, even if we didn't put it in water, wouldn't it?
Oh, it can go on and on. But even it also dries out, and yes, it goes a bit more glaucous when it dries out, but it's perfect a plant to have over Christmas. And I think the Christmas trees are all for sale already in all the various supermarkets and florists and what have you, because we're getting to that period where I think everybody wants to have Christmas and wants to have their friends and family over and just get into that nice period of time where we can all just feel warm and happy.
Feel warm and cozy.
Yeah.
That's the plan. We could also integrate some candlesticks into here, couldn't we?
Yes, yeah, which is always a good idea. I know some people use brass, some use silver, and it's very much dependent on what you feel works for your own house.
I'll just place them in, shall I? And then
Yeah, that's lovely, and also I suppose the red's really festive as well, which is nice.
Add ribbons to them.
Ribbons, you can, and you can also add, I'm trying to think what else we can add. That's red. Baubles, you can add baubles in. You can add a really good array of things.
That's a nice idea.
So these are the bits we picked from your tree. I'll get those out, and then we can work out where we want to put those. But it's just to fill it up, really.
Beautiful.
We've got those bits we probably don't need, and then it just depends on how would you like it to look. You know, it's very much you're the owner of the house, and you want to.
Everything in this house is always a little imperfect, wild and wonderful, and then the red berries, they just really tie in beautifully with the candles.
And this is what's great about this. You know, you can play with it, you can toy around, and it doesn't have to be 100% perfect because people come and know that you've actually done it.
Exactly. I think imperfect is more
perfect.
Exactly. Yeah. Like our wedding flowers, it was just overflowing, abundant blooms everywhere, nothing too ornate or nothing's too organised.
No, it's amazing that way. I think it's natural is the way forward, and I know the king's florist uses very natural sort of forms. Shane Connolly, he's great at what he does, and I know he did their wedding.
Oh, did he?
He did,
oh,
yeah.
Wow.
So he's a firm believer in everything looking as natural as possible.
Yeah,
which is great. I mean, straight away that looks festive, and we've barely been here for what, not even 5 minutes.
Yeah, brilliant. So when it comes to adding in the red, would you recommend just
completely what you feel works? I mean, you can have a like 2 at the end, you could have a few in the middle, whatever you think looks best. So
the end is a nice idea.
What do you think?
Because that's quite a large
tucking
bit.
it in. And you see, this is what I mean, you can really get away with that. So instead of having a vase, you should have to have a specific area of space to work.
Exactly.
You can get away with this. I know some people can tie the greenery onto a rope.
That's a good idea.
So you can have that you can just pick up and take off as where you want it, and then have to put it. So for instance, you might want it over a fireplace.
Oh, that would be lovely.
And you can then just move it after your dinner. You can then bring it back. So it's whatever works.
Beautiful.
It's starting to look great.
They really pop.
Starting to look great. And do you know, I think that looks amazing as it is. I don't think you need to do much more. If you wanted to keep going, you could. If you want to add gold. I know some people spray. Oh, you do it as well. Just about to say, you something I've already now seen. Some people do spray bits of greenery from their garden. You also have allium seeds that at the end at this time of the year where people are digging them out of the garden, and they're cutting them back, cutting the herbaceous borders back.
Yes.
And you might find something that you sort of think they are a bit late, but when you're pulling them apart, you think, oh, these might be great for Christmas. So hang them in the glass house. Let them dry out completely. And then if you want to spray them because you want something gold, or if you want something red, and you can then add that into your arrangements as well.
That's a lovely idea. I saw, actually last year in the Christmas tree, we did some sprayed teasels.
Yes.
That looks lovely.
Yeah, they do. They look great.
I'm getting a feeling that you're not a fan of the gold.
Personally, I'm not a fan of sprayed plants. I know you see them in garden centres now, and you see sort of certain things. One thing I'm definitely not a fan of is you see plants that have been pre-dyed before they
blue roses
and blue orchids. So yeah, not a fan of those. But and glittered plants that have been sort of dipped in glitter.
No, not a fan of that either.
But these look amazing and simple.
It's a dark room and it's just elevating. To be honest, I'm not normally a fan of artificial.
But it works, and that's what's important.
Yeah, I think
so it's got to be what works for you.
Exactly. So we're nearly there. What would you add?
I personally wouldn't add anything more. I think it looks amazing. You're going to have place settings. You're going to maybe have some names. So you might add some names. I know the gold leaf. You could even use a white marker on a gold leaf.
That's a lovely
and have
idea.
that as a setting as well.
It looks good. Okay, well in that case, we're done and it's
Ready
time
to
to
go.
lay the table.
Brilliant.
Thank you for your help.
No problem.
So we've got the Royal Butler back and we're going to lay the festive dinner table. Where do we even begin?
Well, it's looking amazing already, obviously with the floral decoration. The first thing you do is, well, from a butler's point of view, you make sure the chair is exactly where you want in position, so you make sure there's the same amount of spacing around the whole table. And then the other thing that we would normally do is put the chair just obviously in front so the cloth can actually hang nicely.
Oh.
So you can actually see just where everyone's going to be sitting.
Okay.
And then what we're going to do, because this can be a bit tricky having chairs around, so the first thing we're going to do is put down the charges. So for this we're going to use china.
Beautiful.
And then you're going to place it in front of where the person is going to be sitting. So I'm just going to pop that just there, so exactly. And then the thing you've got to remember is, so you're looking at it, make sure it's all central, and then using your thumb, and this way it can go bad or wrong. We both, it depends, because everyone's got different sized thumbs. So obviously
Yes.
one person's in charge of this. And what you do is place your
One person's in charge of the charges.
one person's in charge of the charges. It's the same with the cutlery. Everything gets lined up, and you just use the knuckle to the tip of your thumb, so which is roughly about an inch, roughly. And you just line that up, looking down, and that's where everything's going to be in line with that. That's the idea. Now, if you don't want chargers, what I say is you use this to lay up around, everything around, and then you take the charger away if you don't want the charger. But I think chargers are quite a nice, even using the china.
So too.
Which again is a royal thing. I've seen royals do this. It's a nice little touch to your kind of royal Christmas. If you
What
like.
is the function of a charger? Is it?
It's just protected. It's decoration, but it is also to protect the table as well. But originally it was if you didn't have a cloth or a mat, you'd want that on the table.
Okay.
But these days it's more for decoration kind of
I think it
purposes.
looks lovely.
But it looks really good. And then once you've got your chargers down, we can then build the cutlery around them. Do you want me to
Please.
place that one down?
The final piece of the puzzle. Okay.
Perfect.
We can redo one at the end. At the
Yeah,
end,
we
shall
could do when we're done, we can just do one tight close up. We've just put it, and then everyone's looking and go, oh, that's how you do it.
I think that's
I
a
think
good
that's
idea.
really good.
Me too.
What I'm trying to do is look across the table to see that they're all in line, which they are, which is perfect. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we've got obviously our cutlery here. I love how it's presented in the tray. So when you're laying up the table, you do the reverse of how you'll be using the cutlery. So you're going to start on the inside and work your way out. Because when you're dining, you're going to, from the etiquette view, you're going to start on the outside and go in. So obviously your steak, you've got your beautiful steak knives here. So what I'm going to do, I'll place those there, and then you're going to take obviously your fork and your steak knife, and then I start down here. You're going to place them either side of the plate. Leave a couple of millimetres between the cutlery and the plate, and once again, using your thumb, just make sure that they're in line, like that.
Which direction is the sharp part of the knife?
So, do you mean the blade? So obviously the blade should be facing inwards.
Inwards. Okay.
So you want the actual, if you like, the piece you're going to be using the cutting, which is obviously here, you're going to have that facing inwards. Never have it facing the other way around.
No, dangerous.
I think it's dangerous. And also, if somebody puts their hand, they're going to obviously, it's unlikely, but it could, especially if it's really sharp, they could cut themselves. But if it's the other way around, obviously it's not going to do any
It's
do any
not
harm.
going to do any damage. Okay.
You could, if you wanted to, this is a butler thing, you'll see butlers wearing white gloves, obviously when they used to lay the tables. But what I sometimes do is I have a tea towel, and if it needs a little buff, I give it a little buff as I go round, just make sure there's no fingerprints or anything on it. But again, you can do that, once you've laid the table, you can come back and do that.
I will buff at the end. Everything in this house needs a good buffing.
I was going to say that's what she said. Stop myself. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is starter cutlery. So we'll place that, and again, just a few millimetres between the main course.
Directly next door or at a slight angle?
Directly next door. Some people like to place it slightly up, slightly down. Just do it directly next to it. I think people have their own little takes how they like to do it, but I just like to do it. I like to keep it simple.
I think so too.
So the last piece of cutlery we're going to put down today is obviously the pudding or dessert. That's another big debate for another day.
What do you say?
Well, I say pudding because dessert, well, it depends what you're offering. Dessert is more, traditionally it would be more like what was an ice cream or fruit or something. Pudding is
Hearty.
some hearty sticky toffee pudding or something like that. So I tend to say pudding. If you got Buckingham Palace, a dessert is very much fruit course.
Okay.
That's how it's kind of the difference. So for the pudding course, we've obviously got a spoon. You can use a spoon and fork or just a spoon, personal choice. Now, if you were going to do it a kind of a modern way, is where you put the cutlery up the top. Because obviously, so originally there was so much cutlery back in the Victorian era, we ran out of room. So we had to start finding other places for the other spots for the cutlery. So that's why we end up things starting to get built up the top. That's how I would normally do it. That's how it's done. If you go to Buckingham Palace, you'll find your pudding cutlery up above your plate. But here we're going to ruin the table decoration, and also you won't be able to find the cutlery. We'll be going through the Amazon trying to find it. So what you want to do is we're going to move this all up slightly, a little bit on this side with the 𝑛𝑖𝑧𝒂, and you're going to place the spoon on the furthest to the, well, the nearest to the plate, because that's obviously your last course.
Okay.
And this is more Old English style, so this is more in keeping, especially with this kind of property. This is exactly how you would have laid a table up a few hundred years ago. So it's quite nice to kind of keep that, I suppose, that kind of tradition.
And always the bottom of each bit of cutlery is in line with each other.
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
So I keep checking with my thumb, but also if you just want to glance your eye over it, the other thing you can do is when you're finished, you can just go up to the end of the table and just have a little look down and just check it all looks like it's in line with each other.
Perfect.
Do you have side plates? It just adds to the decoration sometimes, but if you don't worry.
I do, but they don't perfectly match.
That's fine. That's another subject. Royal homes, nothing matches.
Great.
Every piece of china is different eras, different centuries.
I bet King
different
Charles
types.
doesn't have a Sports Direct mug though, does he?
No.
No. Well, don't worry.
And you can mix it up, so and it's nice. It gets you to use different pieces of china. And so if you've not got bread, it's just decoration. But it's just to fill the table up a little bit.
Let's do it then. If it's good enough for King Charles, it's good enough for us. So next to the forks.
Just next to the fork. So again, a couple of millilitres between the plate and the actual fork. And I know we said there's not going to be bread. Obviously, they're normally used as a bread plate, but it's also nice just for decoration, just to fill the table up a little bit, so it kind of fills in those kind of areas that there's nothing there.
Wonderful. And I've got a question for you, etiquette-wise, that I've always thought was one way, but everyone else thinks is another way. If you have got a hot dish placed in front of you, do you wait for everyone to have their hot dish in front of you, or do you start eating?
You wait until, well, you actually wait until the hostess starts, or the host.
Oh.
So once all the plates are down, we're all looking at you, waiting for you to begin.
Right.
Or if you went here and Charlie was hosting, then we'd be all looking at Charlie. So you're waiting for the hosts to start before anyone else starts.
Interesting.
But the host, what you might say is to the gentleman on your right, please begin, and Charlie probably say to the lady on his right, please begin. So if you were both sitting opposite each other here, you turn around to your guest here, he would turn around to your guest here, and we say please begin. But I mean, it's such a small group that as soon as you start, everyone's going to start anyway. And also make sure the plates, which I can't believe we've done this, we haven't even looked at each other, make sure the design's the right way.
Oh yeah.
And you've done it the same as I've done it, which is brilliant. So obviously we've got an eye for detail. Right, so we're now ready for the glassware.
Lovely.
With the glass, normally what you'd be doing is placing the glass, so with normally they kind of go between the main course and the starter knives. So, you see how there's a little, I call it a little bridge between the two. It just sits at that bridge. Now normally your water glass, which comes in, would normally sit just behind it, but because of the foliage, it's going to have to probably come just in front, which is completely fine. So if we still place the wine glass, and obviously we were just saying there that you're going to offer a white or a red.
Yes.
Sometimes you can offer the white with the starter, the red for the main, but more often these days, because normally you have somebody that likes to stick to one, so it's actually quite nice if you say, would you like red, would you like white, and then you stick to that. And it's also great for the washing up. Unless you get someone to help, it's great for the washing up at the end as well.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't want to get told off the Royal Gardener for moving the foliage too much. And I think if you put them just at a little angle like that, just slightly down. And that's it. The only other thing you're going to think about is salts and peppers, which obviously you want to kind of dot them round. And again, with this, normally you have those in lines, but you can't for this. So what I probably do is maybe have a set down somewhere down there, set up here, and that is. And remember, when you pass salt and pepper, they always get passed together, never individually, because they're married. They're married, so they have to be passed together. So,
okay.
So that is maybe. See if you have a set, maybe, or even here have a set and a set down there. And then what you would do as a host, you would always make sure that they're getting passed around, but make sure they're together. And if somebody passes only one, you can say, why have you divorced the salt and pepper? Because etiquette always stated you have to pass them together. So you need
you would
together, absolutely. So just make sure, because people always forget the salt and pepper, so that's important to make sure they go out. But as far as the actual items on the table, the only other thing we're missing is napkins.
Your speciality.
Well, I thought we could do a little fun napkin fold, a royal napkin fold.
Let's do it.
And then we could place those on the table as well.
Okay.
Here's one that I was taught when I was a very young butler in training by another butler, and this was called the rude napkin fold.
The rude
and
napkin
so what we
fold.
would do is you start with the napkin like that, you bring one piece down like that, so you're creating a bit of a triangle, and then you fold this piece back like that.
I can see where this is
okay?
going.
And then what you've got to do, this is the tricky bit, you've then got to fold it in like that, like that. It's a very strange looking one, but anyway. And then lastly, those would get scrunched up like that, place into a glass, and then you'd have, that'd be your, there you go, you'd pop it in like that. Looks more like a cobra actually.
Yeah, it
yeah,
does.
that was kind of what that was the rude fold that we were
So
we
that's
were showing.
the penis napkin.
Mm.
I love that you've done that. Have you ever done that for any member of the royal
No,
family?
no, definitely not. I want to keep my job.
What would the Queen's reaction have been if you served her a cocktail?
I think if she'd seen it, she'd probably just kind of raise her eye and probably have like a little giggle, but I don't think she'd say, I think they probably wouldn't even make any notice of it. I think
No.
they'd act as if they hadn't seen it.
She'd be too polite to say anything.
It does look more like a cobra though, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. But I can definitely see where you're coming from. Well, if you want to see a non-rude napkin, a traditional fleur-de-lis, is that what you call it?
Fleur-de-lis, yeah, Principal's
Yeah.
feathers.
You're going to pop it on your...
I am on my Instagram and probably maybe on YouTube Shorts. I'm not about that.
Even TikTok if you're
Maybe
feeling
even TikTok,
fancy.
maybe even TikTok. But it's quite a nice. It's a nice fold, isn't it?
It is, very elegant. I'm going to remove the penis.
That's what she said.
So you're folding down the edges a little bit. Perfect. They feel quite like substantial.
I think that's what's quite clever about this fold is it's such a simple fold, but for a napkin it does add kind of weight to the table, if you like. It's height as well, which is quite important.
Yeah.
There's obviously napkin folds that ones where they're just flat on the side plate or on the plate. I just think these definitely add a bit of grandeur to a table.
They do. They really do.
There we go, so almost done. And did you want to go at the last one?
Oh yes. Why not?
What I'll do is I'll help you by laying it out like that, and then I'll let you.
And people can guess which one I did. So you folded the label side in. Is that
That's
right?
good. Yes, that's a good point. Actually, that's a really good point. I didn't mention that, but you're quite right because you don't want to see the label.
And then do I go inwards?
No. Then what you're going to do is bring them up to the point,
Ah, to the point. Okay.
and then make sure you press it down because you've got to try and keep it. You've got to try and hopefully stay in shape.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you want to do is bring that up to about 3/4.
3/4.
So a little bit higher, maybe a little tiny bit more. So about there.
Mm-hmm.
Then bring this piece back down itself. Beautifully
Fully
done.
down, yeah.
That's perfect. To make it a bit easier, what you can do is then flip it over like that side because it's easy to work on. Then you're going to bring that to there and you're going to tuck that one in that side.
Tuck it in. Okie doke.
Perfect. That's exactly how you do it. And then you stand it up and then bring
Fold the ears
fold
out.
those down. And there you go.
Easy as that.
And that's it.
Beautiful. Okay, we'll leave this one here and then everyone at dinner tonight can guess. Oh, I mean,
Which
it's
one?
already
Which
falling
one?
apart, so
Which one?
hang on. It's alright, it's not as
But
substantial.
let me
as it
help.
is.
If I do a little bit of
Tweaking.
tweaking, there we go.
A little tweak.
It's very good though. It is perfect. It's just something that helps. If you use a little bit of starch sometimes when you do them, it adds. It just means that they keep the shape a little bit easier. But these are quite good though. These are fine.
That looks beautiful.
I would say that's a table fit for royalty now.
I would too. Yay! Thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay, the table has been set. So, are there any particular etiquette rules when it comes to using the napkins?
There's one really important rule, and I've got a spare napkin here, so I don't mess up our beautifully folded napkins. But as the lady of the house, what you could be telling your guests tonight, it's napkin etiquette basically. And what you've got to remind them is that the chaps will have the crease of the napkin towards them. So they fold them, when you've opened it, you fold it in half, and the chaps will place it on the lap with the crease towards them. Now the ladies will have the crease away, as you would demonstrate, because then you can pick up the corner of the napkin, you can dab, so any crumbs or anything goes on this piece. When it gets folded down, it's concealed, you can't see it, and it's completely hidden. And it also will go on your beautiful dress that you wear as well in the evening. So the idea is that you pick up the corner, you dab on the inside, place it down, and then it's concealed. But I say chaps do it the other way around, mess with the lipstick on tonight, then have a chat to Charlie about that just to make sure, because then obviously he has to do it the same way as the ladies.
That makes so much sense. I love that behind all of these etiquette rules there's actually a reason.
There is every etiquette rule normally has a reason behind it as to why you should or shouldn't do something. So that's why it's quite handy. And one other little point of you during conversation at the table is if you're in an aristocratic royal home, there's this old tradition that you'd speak to the, not so much with this because it's quite an intimate group, but the bigger dinner table, you'd be speaking to, as the hostess, you'd speak to the guest on your right, who's the most senior male guest in the room. And then the most senior female guest would be on the right of Charlie, for example, and that's who you begin speaking to. And it should have a domino effect, so the other guests then speak to the person opposite next to them. So it should automatically go that way. And then after you start the main course, you would then finish this conversation and you turn around and start speaking to the person on your left, and that person will then talk to this person, and it will cause another chain reaction. And Charlie does the same, as long as it's obviously you've got the even numbers around the table. If it's odd, it won't work. And that's, but if it is odd, sometimes you might have 3 people having a conversation together. But what you shouldn't try to do, you shouldn't talk across the table in a big formal setting, because it was seen as, back in the day it was seen as rude. That's where you have some of these big arrangements in candelabra, because you weren't supposed to converse. And if it's couples, always remember to split them up as well. Don't have couples sitting beside each other.
Okay.
Always split them up, just to get a bit more atmosphere. And the last little tip I'll give you, I'm sure you're going to wear your tiara this evening, and as a married lady, you're entitled to wear a tiara, but if you were single, you wouldn't wear a tiara, because you're then you're letting all the gentlemen at the table know that you're a single lady who's looking to mingle.
Oh, I see. So a tiara is a sign that
tiara was a sign that you were married, you were taken, and it was hands off.
Okay.
Basically. But if you didn't wear the tiara, then you were basically saying that you were possibly interested.
Oh, love that.
So I think Charlie will want to make sure you're wearing your tiara tonight.
Okay, I'll give it a good dust off then. Yay. Well, thank you for all of your Christmas etiquette tips. It's been a dream.
It's been really good fun. It's been nice having working with the Royal Gardener as well to
Absolutely.
create this. So it's been good fun.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Hello again, my darlings. It's a couple of hours later. Hope you don't mind the noise of the fan in the background. Whenever we have fires lit in this house, it is imperative that I have the fans going because it's very fumey otherwise. So what an amazing day. I really hope you enjoyed that footage. I wasn't even expecting to film so much with lovely Grant and his husband Jack, who is the Royal Gardener. But the boys are really amping up their own social media, and I said, look, my audience really enjoyed it in the past when I shared a few etiquette tips, so do you want to help me lay the table? And we decided to film it, and yeah, I think that was really good fun, so hopefully you found it fun and useful. The chaps don't live too far away, so if you did enjoy it, then maybe we'll do a little bit more. And so interesting talking to them about their time working so closely with the British royal family. I heard what Queen Camilla's really like, amazing apparently, and what William's favourite snack is in the sweet treat drawer. Let me know your guess down below, and if any of you get it right, then I will take my hat off to you. I'll reveal it in the next vlog what Prince William's favourite little snack is. But I love spending time with the boys. So in just over an hour now, we have got Team Fashion Mumblr heading to the house. Luckily the table is all laid, and as I mentioned earlier, we've got Paul from the Seasons Kitchen coming to do the cooking again, because he was such a star last year, and I'm really looking forward to the dinner. The menu is amazing. So I'm just basically topping up my makeup. I'm not going to start from scratch because I don't have time and I can't be bothered. So just adding a little bit more concealer under my eyes. This is actually, well, technically not concealer, but a slightly more heavy duty foundation. As much as I adore my BB, sometimes you just need something a little bit stronger. And then I'm also going to have a little play with a brand new palette that I've got from NARS. I got this lovely set yesterday when I had lunch with Nars, and I thought that I would try out the new goodies. So we have got here, ooh, a bright red lipstick. Dare I go bright red for the lipstick? It's just the most amazing kind of molten gold packaging. That is such a traditional festive red. How absolutely gorgeous. And then a really beautiful eyeshadow palette, single, in the shade Gold Rush, which I'm definitely going to use tonight as an all over gold sparkly shade. How fabulous is the packaging? And it is a sparkly shadow. And then most excitingly, in my opinion, we've also got the Pure Luxury Light Reflecting Cheek and Eye Palette. So I'm going to apply this next. Oh my gosh, this palette is so beautiful. And the products inside are divine. So you've got an ultra shimmery, this could be used as a bronzer or an eyeshadow crease colour, a really beautiful highlight shade, and 3 tones for the blush. I'm intrigued to see how this bronzer looks. NARS products are always just so, like, illuminizing is how I would describe them. Woohoo! I love products that bring a glow to the complexion. And then I think I'm going to go for this, no, the pinkiest of the blush colours. They all seem to blend in together so nicely. Hopefully it's coming up on camera as nicely as it looks in my mirror, because this is such a gorgeous, like, healthy glow. Looks so beautiful. And then I'll use this fabulous highlight shade. So it says, of course, you can use this as eyeshadow as well, so I think I'll use the highlight shade all over. Just feel like that has kind of blended with my skin so nicely. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I love how that looks. And then I'm going to pop a little touch of the gold sparkle in. Oh my gosh, it looks so nice. Perfect for a Christmas party. Oh, love. Oh, it's got really good colour payoff. Normally glitter you have to really do about 12 million layers. Is that showing up for you guys? I'll leave that out. Got a few more festive evening things coming up that'll be perfect for. We need to normalise wearing glitter on an everyday basis. Why save it for Christmas? These are the best little gift sets. I've also got this one, which is the Mini Afterglow Lip Shine Set. Ooh la la. We love a mini lip gloss. These are perfect handbag size lip glosses, even if you have a dinky evening handbag. Oh my gosh, look at these gorgeous colours. I think I'm going to go with the pinkiest one. I'll do 𝑭𝒂𝒕 Influential Lipstick. Oh, it's Orgasm. Perfect. Sparkly Orgasm on the top. How fabulous. What a gorgeous festive makeup selection from NARS. Now, I have not yet decided what I'm going to wear tonight, so I'm going to have a little scurry around my wardrobe. As you can see behind me, I have got loads of options. I think I'm just going to brush my hair and leave it like this. I really like how it's been in the hairband today. Really glad I had my hair coloured, because I think if I had roots I would not be enjoying this. But there we go. What a fun day, and we've still got an entire party to look forward to. Okay, my darlings, I feel like this is the perfect hosting Christmas gathering outfit. I'm cozy on the top and sparkly on the bottom. I've gone for this fabulous sequin skirt, which is, I'm pretty sure it's from Hobbs, and then my little Dior heels. And I've got this gorgeously soft little v-neck with pearly buttons, which is me and Em. Given my hair a brush, added some jewellery, and we're ready for the night to begin. Now, I'm really peckish, so I'm going to put out some nibbles. We've got canapes shortly, but my tummy is rumbling, so I'm just going to have a little snack, a little post-party snack, and get the night timber out of the fridge and prepare for our guests. I haven't used this in quite a few years. I hope it's still okay. This is the Tom Ford Soleil Neige. It's a shimmering body oil. I've actually just applied it, but it's perfect because it's got little glittery bits in it. and it smells amazing. So you're sparkly and you're scented. I've popped it on my neck, on my chest area, my arms, and I've even popped some on my shins. And it smells so good. So this is what our menu for today is looking like. The canapes sound amazing. Oxford blue custard linseed cracker. We've got smoked salmon, artichoke crustade. Oh, and then we've got beef Wellington for our main. It's gonna be so scrumptious. Paul is here getting everything ready and my mouth is already watering.